Hi, thanks for watching. I'm John Blicky, professional web designer, and I'm going to answer Sam's question. Sam, over in California, asked, he said to me, I think you should talk about how websites are constructed, what web servers are, and the separation between clients, computer, and servers, and how they interact. That's a lot for 10 minutes, so I'm going to break it down to what the internet basically is, how to describe it, and what a client and a server is, and how they interact, and how the languages I was discussing, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, as well as some new languages that we won't be getting into, but describe in basic how those are all intertwined. The internet is basically a giant network. Does it have all the computers connected to it? Not necessarily, especially not when there's a thunderstorm and your power goes out. So anyway, when you have, for example, a couple, 2, 3, 4 computers at home, and you're typing something on one computer but you print it on another, that's called, network printing, and so you're basically, connecting a bunch of computers via IP addresses. Now, of course, a network at home, local area network, is a lot different than the network that the internet is ultimately. And the way it works is, well, there's a bunch of languages and protocols. The main language protocol would be HTTP. And then there are servers and clients. Your computer is a client, unless, of course, you're a bit savvy and you're running it as a server as well. A server essentially runs software that takes it from being a regular computer into a server. It's usually Apache, but also there are different types of web server software besides just Apache, which would be like IIS, the Microsoft version of Apache essentially. I think there's a version called Zeus. I mean, the smaller ones don't have that great of a market share, but they're out there, and it's always great to have competition. So anyway, so these servers all have IP addresses. Your computers have IP. Anything that's connected to the internet has an IP address. Even if you're not connected to the internet, even if your computer is by itself, it will actually generate its own IP address. It's kind of interesting. What is an IP address? Dead simple explanation without getting technical at all. Think of it like a phone number. So you might have the exact same phone number as someone in another state, but you have different area codes. And IP addresses work pretty much the same. Excuse me. They are geological based. So, for example, if I get a hold of your IP address, I can tell if you're from California or China. And there's a high, the accuracy depends. You can get someone down to a few blocks to the wrong corner of the planet. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, so when you, the client, go to a website, you can make make a request, and these requests are handled over a protocol called HTTP. When you click a link, you're making a GET request. Right? The client requests the server to give it a page back to the client. That's a GET command. Now, when you do a search or you sign in, or anytime you push a button and you send information from you, the client, to the server, and I'm pointing to myself as if, like, say, for example, I'm the YouTube server, but I'm not. My video is just hosted there. You're making a post. It's like a form. It's like I'm getting a request to have time off, or I'm posting that I'm making a change, or I'm requesting information. Basic concept. Anyway, to get back to his question, websites are constructed well. Client side, server side. You're the client. The computer that this video is initially sitting on before you request it is the server. XHTML, CSS, JavaScript, which we went over. XHTML being noun language when used properly, CSS being the adjective language when being used properly, and JavaScript being the functional language. Those are requested. They're like dead weight at the server. They're just sitting there. They could be static, like already made, and the server just has to send it, or they could be dynamic, where, for example, when you log in to check your email, all your friends just sent you an email, and so they have different names, of course. So it's not going to be Bob, 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 Joe, Sally, Sally. It has to be dynamically constructed. So at the server, you have server-side languages: PHP, Perl, CGI, Code Fusion, and not technically a language because it's more of a shell, but ASP, ASP.NET, which actually is composed of either one of two other languages, and that goes different direction. Anyway, so if your page isn't static, it's dynamic, and it has to be generated by the server-side language. Server-side language has to work with a database. Your information is stored in a database like your password, which is encrypted. So, for example, if I looked at a well-maintained website, if I looked at the database, I would see a random string of what appears to be a random string of numbers and all that stuff. So anyway, so your password, your username, your profile stuff, all that information is stored in a database. When you request the page to the server-side language, such as PHP, goes to the database, takes all that information out, dynamically constructs the page, and sends it to you, the client. At the client, you have the browser. The browser, such as Firefox, Internet Explorer, Opera, Safari, iCab, lots of different browsers. Their job is to not only understand the HTTP language and handle all that, but take the code that you're given, static, dynamic, doesn't matter, because when it gets to you, you're not going to get server-side language, because server-side language can't be sent past the server. That's why it gets executed at the server, and you end up actually getting, think of it like alcohol evaporating from water. So the alcohol here, and the water is here, but you only get the water, and you're like, damn. Yeah, I know. So anyway, so the browser takes this code, all this computer code, and you can look at this web page. Any web page you go to, you can right-click on a page, view the source. That's the computer code, and it takes all that code and creates the visual. Sam, gotta keep this under 10 minutes, so I hope that explains that to you, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching.